All right, chicken liver treats. Oh, it's all okay. Let me try to hold the camera steady now. Chicken liver treats are really cheap and cost efficient, but it takes a little bit of time to make. I like them because it's clean. I mean, I'm squirting it out of a lotion tube really, and yeah, I mean, my hands don't get dirty. It smells a little bit, but that's about it. And you could also control the portions that you're giving the dog, so it gives a little bit more variety. A lot of people use the same treat at the same portion, and that gets a little boring. So if, for example, if my dog did something fantastic, I'd just squeeze all of it out. And she knows that. She knows that the treat dispensing little mechanism really depends on how she does in a task or in her training. So I could give her just a lick, or I can give her, the whole thing if I wanted to. So I like that. I like having that variety in the training because that keeps the dog kind of guessing and hoping for more, that kind of stuff. And, it's just a good little reward for them. Chicken livers are pretty cheap. I got this on sale at Walmart, 88 cents for about a pound. This will produce pretty much a week's worth of treats. I usually fill up maybe 3 or 4 tubes. These are all 3-ounce tubes, so that's great for one training session, like, an hour training session will work here. Sometimes, she doesn't eat that much, and so I just, put it away in the refrigerator. And I do store some of these in the freezer too, so that it keeps a little better. Another thing is some sort of starch. I like tapioca starch because it's healthy for the dog. Corn starch or corn, the gravy powder or whatever you use to thicken powder, is typically not that good for the dog. So tapioca starch is a nice little alternative. And it's really cheap. This bag is only about 90 cents from like Asian store. I don't know if you guys might have these around, but we have an Asian store, like an Asian grocer, and this is used in a lot of Asian cooking. So, I mean, you just use a tablespoon or 2 per batch. So, that will last you quite a bit. And then you have your tools. You got your tubes where you're going to put the treats in. And I prefer the tubes with the mouth like this because the treat can come out just fine. Some of these tubes have a silicone, or notice here, like, it's gunky because the treat gets stuck in there. So, but I got this one from Amazon in a pack of 6, and these are all 3-ounce tubes, and that was about maybe $10. But at Target, they've got these tubes, these other tubes here. I kind of like this one triangular base because it sits a little better. But these tubes are about $2.50, I think. So it's a nice investment because you're going to be reusing it like crazy. It's just you're going to keep reusing it. And all of my tubes that are pink or purple, they're different brands, but as long as it's pink or purple, that means it's a treat tube. So I've already come up with that system, with my house. And some of these tubes are blue or white or some other color, but that's used for lotions and other stuff that I need it for. And then, food cabinet. I prefer Ninja because it's really cheap. It's only like, I don't know how much I bought it for, but it's a really cheap and efficient food processor or food chopper or whatever. Chicken liver is really soft anyways when you take it out of the boiler, and it's not that bad, and you could actually do it with a fork if you need to, but I prefer this just to have a nice consistency. And then you don't have to have a rice cooker, but my rice cooker has a slow cook option, so I just usually take it outside and put it on for about 2 hours. Fair warning though, chicken liver does smell pretty awful when it's boiled. So what I typically do is just take the chicken liver, woohoo, pop it in, maybe add a cup of water because that kind of dilutes the smell a little bit and gives more opportunity to have that juice stewing in there. So you got that. And then you just set it up for 2 hours or whatever. I mean, you could really literally just boil it for 10 minutes and you're good. So after that, I'll show more. Whee! Okay, so it's been about only 30 minutes, but it looks like the livers are pretty much ready to go. So, Yeah, it's fine. So I'm going to put it in. Might have to do 2 loads because of the how small my little processor is. Oh no, maybe it's gonna be fine. Okay, and that's, again, this is about 1 pound of chicken livers. I'm putting a little bit of liquid in there because you do want it a little bit moist, because especially when it's this hot, if you put tapioca starch in it, it's gonna thicken right away. So usually I do about 1 pound is good enough for my little food processor here. And if I can get a spoon. Ooh. Again, tapioca is the same kind of material that boba is made out of, so it has a very thick consistency, almost like jelly. So I do about a tablespoon, and then just kind of, maybe a little bit more. Probably need a little bit more liquid. Well, who knows? So I'm just gonna show you what it looks like once kind of liquid. That actually looks about right. Ooh, it's hot. Yeah, that looks about right. Maybe a little bit more tapioca starch. Just like a little tiny bit. I'm gonna wait for this to cool down before I pipe it into the silicone. And that's about the consistency you want. So it's not too thick, but again, it's going to be a little different once it cools down because of the tapioca starch, but it's kind of like a little thicker than cat food, pureed cat food. And yeah, that's about it. I'll probably wait about 10 minutes for this to cool down or put it in the refrigerator. If you do that, actually, it'll thicken a lot quicker, and then you'll know the actual consistency a lot sooner. So I'll toss this into the refrigerator for about 10 minutes and then show you guys what it looks like afterwards. Alright, so I've had it in the refrigerator for about 10-20 minutes, and that's about the consistency you'll get after a cool down. It's still much the same. It's not as hot as it was before, so I'm pretty sure I could put it into the bag and pipe it. So next step is to use either a sandwich bag with the end cut off to start piping it, and then you'll start putting it inside the tube. I don't know if I could show that well enough. Ooh. Nice thing about having a small phone, I guess. It's still a little bit hot. Is this the right side? And there we go. Woo! So you can kind of see, just it's going in and that's 3 ounces right there. I'm gonna throw it into the fridge or freezer. Again, this is good for about 1 or 2 training sessions. And that's it. You've got your lovely treat dispenser. No fuss, no muss. I think that's the phrase.